Yeah, LDWMMAC. This is your boy, the Coach. You're live on the Coach Show. The Coach Show live. Man, look, man. We just talked about this fight. I swear. We just talked about this fight last week on the Bias by Balance podcast. We just did. And many of us, we really kind of had the same kind of assessment of the fight. We thought that, everybody knew that Yana Kunitskaya was very strong. Okay? Now, me, I interjected. I said, hey, Yana is strong. But I said, Julija Stoliarenko is a blood and guts type fighter. Julija liked to get in there and get down and dirty, okay? She liked to fight in close quarters. Julija liked to fight in the phone booth. That's Julija Stoliarenko. And I said, this is going to be a grueling match for Yana Kunitskaya. But I think we all picked Yana Kunitskaya to win the fight. The way Yana fought, it surprised me. I was shocked at the way she fought. It was effective, but I was shocked. So Yana, from the opening round, what she did was she made a V-line to Julija Stoliarenko. I'm talking about made a V-line. She ran right at her, grabbed her, and pinned her against the cage. And I said, okay, this is where Julija wants to be. Okay, what is Julija going to do? Well, you can see Julija, trying to jump guard. And, if Julija wasn't so good at submissions, I would, I'd say it's ill-advised. But, she kept trying to jump guard. Yana Kunitskaya wouldn't allow that to happen. Yana kept hitting her with elbows, kept hitting her with, like right hands and hooks. Yana was tearing her up against that cage. I'm talking about wearing her ass out. And so I started thinking to myself, okay, what is Julija going to do? What is she going to do? Okay, is Julija going to be able to get, actually get the underhook and get herself off of the cage? Well, Yana wasn't having that either. Yana wasn't allowing Julija to get the underhooks. I mean, Yana just kind of pinned her against the cage, hit her with knees and elbows. And you can kind of tell that was wearing Julija down. It was wearing her down. The girl had this look on her face like, okay, I don't know what to do. She was looking at her corner like, I don't know what to do, I can't get out of this. What do I do? And Julija didn't have a clue, okay? And I was shocked. I was shocked. Like, a person can become the Invicta champion, but then, that's neither here nor there. Because, sometimes in Invicta, they're not fighting really the top-notch competition in Invicta. Sometimes. Now, you got your outliers like your Pam Sorensens or your Striking Vikings. They're the outliers where they can compete in any league. You put them here in the UFC, they'll be able to compete. But, I was just kind of shocked that Julija had no answer. She had no answer for Yana Kunitskaya against that cage. Okay, so Julija, she survived the first round. And I said survived because Yana was tearing her up, man. I think Yana had like 60 strikes in the first round. Julija only had 12. So then we get back to round two. Same thing. Yana made a V-line to Julija Stoliarenko, pinned her up against the cage. And I'm like, okay, you knew that she was going to do that. You knew she was going to do it. You knew she was coming. Okay, I didn't hear a corner saying, listen, make this adjustment. She's running at you. If it were me, I would have immediately ran at her and I would have got a double leg takedown. Or I would have tried to secure a single leg. I would have ran right at her. Because you know she coming to try to clinch. That's what she doing. Or, I would have surprised her with a knee. I'm talking about a jumping knee. I would have done something to give her something to look at differently. Like, Yana, she didn't get any different looks. Like, Yana knew that, okay, I can run right at her because she's not going to do anything. She's going to try to engage me. And that's what Julija Stoliarenko did. That's what she did. Okay, Yana knew, okay, I can just rush her. I can put her back against the cage. And that's what she did for most of round two. Now, Julija, she managed to jump guard and pull Yana to the ground. Okay, and I said, okay, let me see what everybody's talking about. Because the fights I remember from Julija, she's standing and she's brawling. I said, let me really see what she about. So Julija put Yana in a guard. And then next thing I know, man, she's shimmying her hips up toward, like, Yana's, like, upper body. And she locked them hips around and she had an armbar in. I said, hold on. Wait a minute, Julija locked the armbar in? She almost had it. But the end of the round was coming. And so Julija lost the armbar. But Yana was in a dangerous spot. And she was playing a dangerous game. And I see why Yana never wanted this fight to go to the ground. Yana Kunitskaya, she could have got easily submitted, man. But I thought Yana, for what she was doing, I thought she fought a smart fight. I thought she fought a smart fight. Whenever the fight, when Julija went down, Yana would back up and she would just punch Julija. And then when Julija, as soon as Julija got up, Yana would immediately run, bum rush her, and put her back against that cage. And I'm like, oh man. So this is what we doing. You know what, Julija, I'm gonna tell you what she should have looked at, man. She should have watched that Chris Cyborg fight. Cause you know, Yana Kunitskaya tried to do the same thing with Chris Cyborg. But you see how Chris Cyborg was shimmying along the cage. She was slipping up under those underhooks and getting her own underhooks. And then Chris Cyborg started delivering knees. And then Chris would rotate back to the center. Once Chris got her underhooks on Yana, she rotate back to the center. And then she would catch Yana coming in. Because she knew that Yana was trying to grab her. So Chris would come back and throw a feint with the left and then come back with a straight right hand. Yana Kunitskaya was food. See, that's what you do, man. They need to watch that Chris Cyborg fight. I might even do a film study, man. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling ambitious right now. I might do a film study to show y'all what Chris Cyborg did versus what Yana did. You know, what Chris Cyborg did versus what Julija did. And guys, you will see, man, that Chris Cyborg did a lot of things that was very effective, man. Like even some old school things, like foot stomps. Like, you know, foot stomps are old school, okay? That's what some of the old school cats do. Julija, she offered nothing, man. I mean, she didn't. Yana didn't give her any space, but Julija just kind of sat against the cage. And she ate it. She ate elbows. She ate knees. She ate punches. I mean, what was she going to do? I mean, this was a very, very poor showing by Julija Story. It was poor, y'all. It was poor. And it was almost like, you know, none of her other skill sets were on display. Like what? The only skill set that I saw was the armbar. And the only skill set that I saw is that you know how to survive against the cage. Because Yana hit Julija, man, with a crazy, crazy elbow. And I'm talking about it blooded up Julia's nose and her face. And by round 3, you can look at Julija, man. She kind of had to look like, okay, I give up. But then like the last 30, 40 seconds of the fight, Julija tried to turn it up because Yana gave her some space. And Yana just wanted to box out in the open. And still, even when Yana gave her a little bit of space, Yana was winning the battle too. Okay, Yana could have fought this fight anywhere, man. It's just Julija didn't have the skill set to keep the fight off the cage. She didn't have it. It was almost like she got Khabib mauled in there. Like literally, y'all. She got Khabib Nurmagomedov mauled in the cage by Yana Kunitskaya. Wow. But it's a good win for Yana. It's a good win. You know, is it gonna move up in the rankings? I don't know. Okay, because she beat Julija Stoliarenko. Okay, I think anybody in the top, in the top 8 or the top 9 could beat Julija Stoliarenko. I think they can. Okay, me personally, I don't think that she's as skillful as some of the other fighters in the division. I think Julija Stoliarenko got a chin, and I think that she come to fight, and I think that she ain't giving up, and I think that she, well, yeah, in parts of this fight it did look like she gave up. But Julija is gonna come to fight. She gonna come to fight. But that's about it. That's really about it. That's like Valerie Laredo opponent, Tara Graf. Yeah, Tara Graf was in there. She was in there fighting. She had her chin up the whole fight, and then she got knocked out. But hey, Tara Graf was ready to fight. I think Julija, right now during the pandemic, she gonna have some job security. She may even have a little chance to get beat up a few times. She's got job security during this pandemic. She need to do some things differently, man. She need to do some things differently. Like number one, if you know the person, what their game plan is, Julija could have took a couple of angles, man. She could have took a step to the side and then shot for the single leg. It was there. I mean, Yana, it was there. Or she could have threw a straight right hand down the pipe, man. It was there. But nah, man, she just let Yana run right at her. It's kind of hard for me to just really fathom, you fighting 3 rounds against a person. The first 2 rounds, they showed you the same thing. And by round 3, you still ain't made an adjustment. That's a problem. It's called fight IQ.